receipts?
Generally, the external sector position has improved. It improved during 2025. But again, we can give you the precise numbers because I'm under oath when that exercise, the audit exercise, is completed.
Clearly so, I know you're under oath, but you have to, I was asking for some estimation because as you sit here, I know you have some idea of whether we've received more in terms of receipts from the gold, minerals, and oil, and all the other things that come in as receipts. And so that's why I
that is so. Our commodity prices have fared well throughout 2025. And if you look at our
Governor, again, we see that the auditors reports payments for services and work projections. That's on page 21.
okay.
I want to give you the opportunity to tell the people of Ghana where your mandate lies. Whether Bank of Ghana is supposed to check whether the project has been completed before payment is done, or Bank of Ghana collects details and issues payment as instructed by the Controller and Accountant General.
Madam Chair, as you are aware, the central bank is the banker for government and then also government agencies. We depend on controller. They are in charge of operating those accounts. And in all cases, we adhere to the instructions that are on those accounts. But I have my head of banking department seated right here. If there are specific details, maybe we can look at that, Madam Chair.
Not necessarily specific details, but I just wanted you to put on record your mandate when it comes to payment of projects. Like you said.
Yes, so rightly so.
Yes, I want you to be clear on that.
Yes,
for all of
it
us.
is just like you have your own account with any bank. At the end of the day, you operate the account. The mandate is clear on that. And so controller, in my view, has plays that role. Ours is to ensure that the underlying vouchers are what they are, and instructions, follow what controller has authorized. We have our risk management department that also screens these payments. But the authority, the payment instructions, all that is effected through the controller.
Governor, so if I may, in simple terms, when you are instructed to make payment, are you responsible for the physical verification of the project completion or not?
Well, we are not. We go strictly by the documentation, as I have explained.
I guess we are beating around the bush, specifically Poalogo. Money was paid, and nothing had been done. And we want to find out who is to take responsibility for it. Was it? I'm sorry. Mr. Speaker has, Deputy Speaker has come to join us. Governor, to continue, for our logo as an example, monies were paid. Nothing was done over there. And there was confusion about who was supposed to have gone to check whether whether work was done or not. In that case, where do we put the responsibility?
Madam Chair, I believe that borders on issues about value for money. That doesn't sit with us. As I explained, we go by the documentation. We are a banker, for government. And so controller, Ministry of Finance, those agencies will be able to explain who does the value for money checks. What we do is to go by the underlying documentation, that dictates how the account is operated.
With all due respect, cost of value for money doesn't come in at all. Monies were paid to a contractor, but no work was done. So, controller must have sent the documentation to Bank of Ghana for you to pay. So, in that case, it's controller that we have to go to. Is that the case? Because nothing was done over there.
Controller and any other agency will be able to speak to that, not us.
That is why from the beginning I gave you the opportunity to establish what Bank of Ghana does, and then it ends there, so that the people of Ghana know that it is the mandate of Bank of Ghana to pay based on instructions received. It is that of the ministry sending the instructions to controller to also make sure that the projects for which they are paying for, the monies that are being dished out to the contractor, is commensurate with the work that the contractor has done. So I just wanted us to clarify this once and for all, because last year it was something else on Public Accounts Committee. I was sitting exactly where you were.
Well, Madam Chair, if this was a loan from Bank of Ghana, certainly we will take over that oversight role. This was a government of Ghana project. We cannot speak on that.
Now,
And then still on the report, yes, still on the reports, page 25. Governor, what goes into your management and technical service fees?
So, with your permission, Madam Chair, my staff now will answer that before I come in.
Okay, so thank you very much, Madam Chair. So management and technical, it includes salaries of consultants, as service of a technical nature. So for example, payments for some of our software, including Reuters, Bloomberg, etc.
And that's I thought it went beyond that, because I
okay, so
see
there-
49
sorry.
million US dollars
There are
for
also
management and
payments-
technical services.
Sorry, there are also payments in respect of the technical assistance, presidential Air Force plane, and then other engagements that we have, official speeches, lectures, etc.
Under management and technical services,
Yes, please.
we would want an official breakdown sent to the committee. Yeah,
Yes,
because the auditors pointed out that there's been an increase of 18.3%. I'm wondering what is it that is put under the management and technical services that should warrant an increment of close to $8 million within a year from the $41.5 million in 2023.
Very well. We'll come back to the committee.
And then, Governor, this has to do with the banks. We've had many issues with unearned salaries that are paid to respect people who haven't earned it, but are paid in error. And then they are supposed to send it back to Controller and Accountant General. Sometimes there's a bit of a delay, and sometimes they don't even want to release these monies. We've had a couple of, is it the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education? You know, they have quite a number of staff, and so sometimes when some of their members move away or leave, for some reason they continue to pay them, validate and then pay them. And so the bank holds, the banks, these commercial banks, holds quite a number of accounts that we want them to pay back to Controller and Accountant General. And sometimes it's a bit of a challenge. And since you are the regulator, we want to ask of you to support Public Accounts Committee to make sure that monies that are paid in error to staff that have left government offices or government employment should be repatriated back to the Controller and Accountant General without the bank. So this is just by way of asking you to. And then finally, you know, on the table, there's a table 26 with various commercial bank dealers and their schedule of earnings. For some of the banks, their receipts are very low, but when you look at the quantum of transfer that they do in a year, I don't know how they are able to raise those huge amounts of money to transfer. I just want you to help me here. How you supervise them, one, on the receipts that come in, and how they are able to transfer this huge quantum of money compared to the receipts that come in. Is it that Bank of Ghana feeds them with those huge differences in terms of forex, and so they are able to pay, or I mean, how is it done?
So we have the interbank foreign exchange market, and therefore, if a bank has a demand from a client for some transfers to be made, and remember, those transfers are not just done, it has to be supported by relevant documentation. So the bank can do that. We regulate them, yes. When we go on site, we cross-check those documents. They send us returns as well. But I believe your question goes to the heart of something we observed when we came in. When we came in last year, we decided to meet the banks, and we met all the CEOs. And we made it clear to them that we wanted them to be more actively involved in promoting exports from Ghana, especially banks coming from some of our neighboring countries. Madam Chair, I can report that each of the banks submitted something to me, showing what they are doing currently and what they can do to promote Ghana's exports, and we are monitoring that. So going forward, we'll ensure that the banks are not just doing banking, but they are serving as part of our eyes out there. If, for example, a bank is from South Africa, can market better than anyone else, and therefore should be able to help a Ghanaian firm that wants to go into the South Africa market. And that is exactly what we are nudging them to do. And so far, so good. We are happy with the submissions they've sent to us. We'll continue to work with the banks. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Governor, I want to take you to page 12 of the report. If you were to look at page 12, you realize that payments for services and works in the 2024 amounted to some 1,771.96 million. And this represents an increase of about 48.5. Clearly, what this tells us is that service and works is now the second largest forex outflow category after the energy and the non-energy forex sales. Our concern is that, unlike debt service or on imports, services and work is largely discretionary. So are you able to tell this committee why that sharp increment of about 48%, and if indeed you reported this to Parliament? Thank you.
Honorable member, can you kindly just go over it again? We are trying to locate.
Yes, so go to page 12. So on page 12, yes, I'm on payments of foreign exchange for the year ended. And on the transaction type, I'm looking at payments for services and works. Table 8. Yes, and rose by some 48.6% in 1 year. And I want to find out from you what policy decision justified this increase.
Again, we are happy to come back to the committee with the details. The details will explain that much better, Madam Chair. We can come back with the components of that line, and that can explain it better.
Well, but these are reports that are captured by the Auditor General, and I'm sure yes, you provided the details for this, and so coming back.
Okay. Fortunately, we already have the breakdowns under table 20. So with your permission, I want to again ask the desk officer to provide some clarity on that. Table 20 provides those sub-details, so we can even take it now. Now you can come in now.
Okay, so